gentle breeze.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. For the beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the skies, for the love which from above over and around us lies, Christ our God, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful.
Good evening. Tonight we're going to share on the missions trip we took a couple weeks ago. The order of tonight will be Nicholas. Will be sharing his experience there, so hopefully you can get a grasp of what we experienced through his speech. And then we're all going to come up and we'll sing a few songs and then have like a short comment, each one of us, our favorite thing or anything they wanted to share, we wanted to share. So you'll get to see each person that was there that's here tonight. And then Ashton and Janessa will be sharing pictures after that, and that'll be the order. So Nicholas, if you want to come up and share.
Welcome tonight. If I talk really fast or you can't understand me, just raise your hand and I'll... Not yet. Don't raise your hand yet. I just started, please. No, mission trip, well, before I went down, I thought to myself, I was like, it's probably going to be super hot. It's going to be super hard work. and it's gonna be all this hard stuff, whatever to do. And then we fly down there, and it was exactly that. It was hot and it's a lot of work. No, it was actually a lot of fun. The flight down there, we had a delay. The first flight we had to sit there because of lightning. It hit like too close to the airport, so all the crew had to go in, and we had to sit there for an hour and a half in the plane. And we finally flew, and we get to the Miami, and the plane was sitting there for an hour waiting for us. So that was by God grace that we actually made it to the next flight. But we got down there, and when we got down there, it actually wasn't that hot. I mean, it was hot, but it was kind of like in here, like humid. So I was kind of used to it, working outside, And anyways, so we stay there at the Port-au-Prince. I think that's the capital. I think so. I don't know. Anyways, we stayed there for one night. We wake up, and then we take a 6-hour travel by you literally felt like an animal. You were boxed in. It was like those those box trucks, like air, those box trucks. Picture that, but it had an actual cage, and you packed in like 26 people. And then they lock it too. So you literally are locked in this cage. And then you drive for 6 hours on this bumpy road, smelly. Oh, it was something else, man. Anyways, that was pretty insane. I've never been on a mission trip, so doing that was very pushing for me. I'm used to this, real nice cars and flying 60 and nice roads ish. But yeah, and then the work. Now we got there. I think it was Saturday afternoon or some afternoon, and we were all like nasty, sweaty, sitting in this cage, feeling like animals. And then they were saying about starting work right after that. And I was like, oh my stars, if we had to work after this long trip, I am gonna die. Luckily, we didn't have to. We actually just ate food and then went back to our place and rested the rest of the night. So that was thankful. Anyways, the work. Next morning we wake up, we go to work, and now I'm used to my job. I use equipment for most of my job. There's some hand shoveling, but most of my job is using large equipment. Boy, oh boy, this is all hand labor. Kid you not. I never did construction until mission trip, but I see construction people using big cranes to lift those trusses no, this is all by hand. Brian Bontrager had to make one and then go. He had the first one, then he made all the other ones the same size. But once he made one, like 10 of us guys got up there and we're like, okay, we got to push this sucker on up on the roof. So we get up there, and like 3 of us are like in the front pushing it up, and the other 8 guys are like trying to heave it up. And then the front 3 guys get wood and push it up with wood, but you can't reach it. It was so dangerous. I was like, if OSHA would see us now, they would be so disappointed. It was terrible. But we got it up there, got it on, and the first truss. So picture this house, I think 2-story tall. I think it's 2 or 3, I don't know. It was tall. And the truss was on the edge, and Kyle Hosseller and Galen had to stand up there and screw it down while looking over the edge like 30 feet. It was so nuts. Oh my word. I don't like heights, but boy, oh boy, that was something else. That was crazy. We did that, put a roof on there, and it was first of all, the walls. The walls here, you think a wall is like 1/2 inch off, that's bad. Down in Haiti, that's like really, really good. Like 3 inches off is like, that's good, but not whatever, down in Haiti. These walls, I kid you not. So we put a 2x4 straight across the wall, and the wall weaved back and forth, just like, it was nuts. It was so nuts. And then they poured concrete. They brought in concrete with a wheelbarrow, dumped it on the floor, anywhere, dirt, whatever, dumped on the floor. Then they pumped water out of a well into buckets, brought the buckets over, dumped it on top of the concrete, just on the floor, mixed it with shovels, put it back into a bucket, picked up the bucket, carried it like 10 feet, and then dumped it in this little like square thingamajiggy. And after they were done, I mean, the concrete here is like smooth. Down there, if they would see how smooth our concrete would be, they would be amazed. They'd be like, wow, their concrete is bumpy, barely any concrete. 95% of the concrete is literally stones. Kid you not. We probably have pictures that you can see later. It's crazy. But yeah, that was nuts. The work, wow. I don't know. Working back home is just so amazing having equipment. I was so pleased to get back home and actually jump into a skid loader and actually just use my hands to do all the labor. But yeah, and then the rest of the time we just, chilled mostly and played games and hung out with the youth. That was probably the funnest thing. Even when you worked as a group, there were still you were still happy to work. Even though it was terrible, got blisters, it was awful, but it was still fun because you were with the youth, and you were just hanging out. You were yelling at each other for no reason, just having a party. It was a real blast. One thing that I really stuck out to me is that, down in Haiti, the kids, with their soccer ball, or they call a soccer ball, was literally a fruit. I'm pretty sure it was a fruit. The one time it was a fruit. And they used that as a soccer ball. They were having a blast. They were laughing. And they had these, little, nets with, plastic, for the goalie or the goal. And they were having so much fun, though. And here we are, with all our technology and all our nice cars, and we're still not having near as much fun as they are. So one thing that I got out of that was just no matter what you have or what you can, get, whatever, you should still have a blast and just make your life to the fullest what you have. So that's pretty much all I have. I think we're singing next, so yeah.
So one of my favorite things about Haiti was hanging out with the children, especially the last day we were at the clinic. We did a little bit of work, and then we all sat on the front steps of the clinic, and they got such a kick out of trying to teach us their language and laughing at us when we messed up, and then teaching them English. They just really enjoyed hanging out with us and teaching us how they hang out and how they play together. It was very interesting.
Well, sorry. Well, I think my favorite thing was just working together and having a lot of fun doing it. I think that's one thing I also learned from the children was just to have fun in anything that you do. And I think we did well as a youth group to work together and have a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, it was really enjoyable. So.
Well, I think my favorite part was being locked in a cage with the youth group for hours. That actually helped us to get to know each other, and we actually bonded together probably for the first time in a long time, so that was nice.
I guess one of my favorite things was playing soccer with the Haitians. We had a team of our youth group, and then we played against the Haitian team, and I think we guys had a lot of fun playing soccer with them.
I think my funnest thing was so there was this little shack to the where they sat for the waiting room, kind of the waiting room, and me, Ashton, and Braden put the roof on there, and it literally took us the whole day to put it on there. It was probably like a 10 by 15 shack. It took us, I kid you not, the whole day to put it together and put it on there. It was the funniest thing that we've ever done. I had a blast doing that.
Good evening. I think my favorite part of the mission trip was actually spending time with my youth fellow mates and getting to know them better. And also the children. I love the kids. They're awesome.
Well, I thought my favorite thing was everything that we did down there and everybody pitching to get stuff done. I think it was very great.
I would say my favorite thing was the heat, because it made me realize how great an invention that AC is. No, but it was really cool to see how we don't always get along, but when it came to working, we pretty well got along and got stuff done, and that was pretty neat to see.
The favorite thing I did too was building that roof on the shack with Nicholas and Ashton. We messed around so much, but hey, we got it done, and it was a lot of fun.
I think my favorite thing was probably hanging out with the kids. The kids there, they were always really happy, no matter, for their predicament and their situation and how they live life. It's really amazing. And I was really blessed by that. You'd give them balloons and they'd be happy for, 2-3 hours, which is really cool.
Well, everybody's sharing their favorite moment. Well, those are all my favorite moments too, but a funny story kind of. So Nicholas and Ash and them are all building the roof, doing hard work and stuff, and me and Adrian and Kyle was supposed to be finishing the real roof. Well, Nicholas and them all of a sudden come up and start yelling at us, and we never replied. So they come up to the roof and, hey, what's going on? And there, me, Adrian, and Kyle and Aline are all sleeping, taking about a 20-minute nap, waiting on a piece of metal to be cut. So that was, I thought, a funny story.
Probably one of my favorite things was the kids as well. Just spending time with them. They were so happy with so little. I think I spent like an hour and a half just blowing bubbles, and they loved it. They were just happy with that. And also working with the youth group and being stuck in that truck, that was a lot of fun. You couldn't do anything about it, so you had to make the best of it, and that brought out the best in people. So.
Well, you can probably guess what I'm going to say, because my favorite thing was also working on that roof. And even though we might have messed around the whole day, whenever we looked up, there's at least 15 people just sitting on the steps watching us.
All right. Probably something that I enjoyed was just seeing the Christians down there. Like, I guess I always heard stories of Haiti and like the demonic powers and stuff down there, but to actually see a church that was alive and they all got dressed up. The ladies wore heels, and actually a decent amount of them would cover their hair as well. It was funny, we were up front singing songs and stuff, and I don't remember which song it was. I know it was one with motions, maybe Jesus Love is Bubbling Over or something, and it just got really quiet afterwards, and the lady behind me goes, okay. But they were very friendly, and even though that you couldn't understand each other, they would come up and greet you and say, God bless you. And the one gentleman was saying his name. His name was Frankie. And I was like, oh, Frankie? He's like, no, Frankie. So it was fun to interact. Even though there was a language barrier there, you could still interact with each other, and that was fun.
I enjoyed like everything in the mission trip, but I think the part I enjoyed most was actually being part of their church services, watching how they worship and listening to their songs, and also being able to be part of their worship service and singing and watching their faces change with the different songs, like motion songs and the upbeat songs I definitely enjoyed more. And but yeah, I just was really blessed, and I was glad we got to be a blessing to them too.
Well, I don't know if I have one specific thing that I like my most favorite, but I enjoyed the culture and just seeing the culture and being able to be a part of that culture and realizing how much we have that they don't have, and seeing, like Julia said, just seeing the Sunday morning church service. Wednesday evening we were part of the service and we had an interpreter, so we knew what they were saying, but Sunday morning there was no interpreter. But I told Brian after we were done, I said, I really felt that truth was being spoken, and kind of because people were saying amen and they were totally agreeing with what the preacher was saying. Now, I know you can agree with what's not true, but just the feeling that was there felt like we were worshiping the same God, and that was a blessing.
I guess I was just glad that I got to go along, an old guy like me. So, yeah, thanks to the youth group for that. I guess one of my favorite parts is just working with the youth group. Like, that was kind of my favorite, is just hanging out with them and working and stuff. That was kind of fun. I guess I have more in common with you than I might have thought. And one of the, a couple of comments that I heard was, one of them was like, when I get back home, I'm going to eat a big, juicy hamburger. And another one was, I think it came from Brian Pope. He said, when I get back, I'm going to kiss the ground. I don't think he's done that yet, so.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is I'd like to commend the youth. I think they did very well working together, and I was more than pleased. And we had, as it worked out, we had lost a good half a day of working that Adrian and I were worried about getting our work done, but as it worked out, we got more done than we anticipated, and that was a blessing. I just really appreciated, I didn't hear one complaint, and I would say, like Nicholas, it was hot, but it wasn't as hot as I expected it to be. And some of the nights were really nice and cool by morning. And so some of the things that I would just say is this, that I've been in a few poor countries, but never no third world country. Whatever conception you have of how bad you have it here, you can listen to the stories, you can see the pictures, but I would just have to say what other people have told me. You have to go and experience it to really believe it. And the interesting thing is, I keep reminding myself, that more people in the world live like they do than what live like us. And I just over and over still think, how can a country run so poorly? How can it just keep going? And yet it does. And but the Haitians, for the most part, were very friendly. And it was good to see, especially at the services as well, it was good to hear some of them singing songs. We recognized the tunes, but we didn't know the words because most of the words are French or Creole, which is a derivative of French. But I made some memories that I'll probably, hopefully, never forget.
Well, I think one of my favorite things was, or probably, yeah, definitely the favorite thing was just hanging out with people. We have an awesome youth group, and yeah, just being able to do that with all you guys was awesome. So thank you guys. Thank you the church as well. I think each one of us would say thank you for allowing us to go, for supporting us to go. I think we all grew through it, and it was a positive experience all around. Yeah, anywhere from not... youth group was great too, was awesome. And then we also had the people of the Haitians and how awesome they were. The church there, as a lot of them said, and the fire that's there, and just the difference in people and in culture is so cool to see how God made us so unique and different. But yeah, that was probably my favorite thing. Ashton and Janessa, do you guys want to come up and share your pictures now?
All right, is this thing on? All right, we got probably about 100 pictures here that she's gonna talk about the things that the girls did, and then I'll try to explain everything else and the things that the guys did. Here was Wednesday night. We were singing the same songs that we sang up here, singing to the Haitian church there. They really enjoyed that. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is in the airport. Yeah, with trying to go through O'Hare with 30 people is pretty intense, pretty stressful, especially when they switch your gates 2 times and they're like in opposite wings. It was a fun time. We were all very tired, and I didn't know Galen was going to be here, so I put that picture in there. But yeah, there's a lot of people sleeping in the airport. This is after we got to Haiti. We put all our luggage in that truck there, all of it. And it's not that big of a truck, but they stacked it in there multiple times. And then this is the cage that we were hauled around in. And yeah, there's 26 people in the back there. Some of us were standing, but yeah. That's how we sat. It was very, very tight, very sweaty. This is kind of how the roads in the city look. This is actually a pretty good road, but as you can see, there's some trash there, and yeah, everything's concrete. There's not much wood. This is at the first place we stayed in. There was like beds in there, and then this huge had like probably 12 beds in there, and there was just kind of like, it was more like a like environmental. They were very green and like tried to save stuff and make the best of what they had. That's where we ate breakfast before we headed out to where Elwin and Anita stayed. The next morning, driving out, the traffic was absolutely insane, and there's no rules on the road. You just go and hope for the best. You saw a lot of like painted vehicles with words written on them, usually about something about we love Jesus or God help us or something like that. But yeah, that's all the trash and the traffic. that's all trash. And you guys, it had just rained the night before, and so everything was still muddy and wet, and like the smell was almost unbearable. I almost gagged a few times, but like you have no idea how bad it actually smelled. Once we got out in the country, it was actually really nice. I mean, there was still a little bit of trash on the road, but it was really green, and the air was a lot more like fresher and stuff, and it actually wasn't that bad. This is the clinic that we worked on. That's the well where all our water came from. I'm not exactly sure what we were doing there, but yeah. We had to clean off the tops of the walls so that we could put footers down, 2x4s, to fasten the trusses to. And there was rebar sticking up. They just leave their rebar sticking up, so we had to go around and cut all that down. And build trusses by hand. And that's how it looked, the top of the roof, where we put the roof over. And yeah, nothing is straight, nothing is square. It goes back and forth at will.
So this was, some of us girls went and cleaned out their storage room they had a lot of medical supplies. And so we cleaned all that out, and then we had to clean everything by hand. We took apart all the syringes and stuff and organized them all. And so that's kind of what we were doing there, and we cleaned everything out. They guys made shelves, and we put everything back. So, yeah.
This was the back side of the clinic, and it was about 28 feet, if I remember right, from the corner to the lowest point. We had a lot of fun working. We were supposed to be putting a floor in there, but we had to pose at least a couple times.
And we also painted a lot of stuff, walls. This was benches this time. And so then we put this is a seating area where they sit for the waiting room. And so the concrete thing that the guys were talking about, they made a shelter for that, and we put those benches underneath there. So, and kind of doing the same thing here is organizing the syringes and stuff.
This is the trusses. My dad built a lot of them, and then we just kind of gave him supplies, and he just magically put them together. No, it took a lot of work to build those trusses, and yeah, it was pretty insane. This was the floor that we put in. It was had been like a courtyard area, and all the rain would just run down in the middle of the building and then out the front door. So we put a floor in there, and that actually helped out a lot with hauling stuff back and forth. This is lifting the truss onto the roof, as Nick so vividly described earlier. They were heavy, and yeah. There's always at least one Haitian trying to help, but ends up just stripping our T20s. And then this is the first truss, and right on the other side of Galen there is like the 25, 30-foot drop down to gravel. This is also the Wednesday night church. We did the Good Samaritan skit for them, and Nick was the guy that got beat up. And Carl was the donkey, and Brian was the Good Samaritan that hauled him off. These two girls, they gave us a little program thing. They sang a song for us. Before this, we used this ladder, and the steps were like probably 2.5 feet apart. It's kind of intense to climb up, but we built a stairway, and you'll see later how it looked. But yeah, that helped a lot.
We're in the side of the clinic there, and we are painting walls and doors. We had all these windows on this is up top on the roof, and they're all metal bar windows. We had to clean them off and repaint them. It took a long time and a lot of work.
This was the trusses after we got them put up. We put fascia boards and purlins on, and they were 1x4 purlins and 8 foot apart, and it was pretty sketchy walking across those. This is while they're building the stairs. After they got that, it helped so insanely much in getting stuff from the ground up to the second floor.
And this, Stacy and Myra actually painted that cross and the logo there all by hand. And another picture you'll see, they did the writing for Dr. Claudia. And so, yeah, it was really good.
A lot of rice and some chicken, but a lot of goat too. It was definitely interesting food. We didn't eat as much as we could, we'll just say that much. All the kids loved Lily and Brian. We don't know why, but for some reason they were just attracted to him. The nights that we played with the children, they loved jumping rope and literally anything they would be happy doing as long as we were involved. It was like everything revolved around us, and as long as we were doing it, they were having a blast. As Matthew said, we played soccer, and we only lost by 1 goal. I thought we did pretty good, but it was crazy. They are super good. I think he just missed a goal there. And if you look right there, that guy's like, ha, what a loser. This is the shelter that we put the roof on, us two guys. And the posts holding us up were actual sticks. They weren't OSHA approved. And every time you'd move, the whole thing would move 6 inches. We had a lot of fun though. This was putting the metal on the roof. We had a little bit of a problem to start out with, but I think they got it figured out. It might not be 100% straight or square, but hey, it's on there, so. This was the stairs after they were done. That's the doctor there, and he helped out somewhat, and Anita had said that doctors in Haiti are super educated, and so they think that they're a level above everyone else, but he was not. He was a Bible-believing Christian, and he was not afraid to get dirty. That's the shelter after we were done. They moved the benches in there, and that was their new waiting place. And as you can see, this concrete is not ideal at all. There's a lot of those, a lot of those. And there may have been screaming involved, but we're not going to show you guys that. This was Eldon and Anita. They were the main people there. And then Rebecca and Mary were the VSers helping them. She is a nurse that helps run the clinic. And this is their motto. It means care with compassion. Something like that. The stars in Haiti were absolutely beautiful. You have no idea how clear the stars were. It was insane. Jeffy got some really good pictures. You could see the Milky Way as clear as day. The one night, they went tarantula hunting, and Myra caught a tarantula, and I guess everyone decided that they needed to hold it. I was a normal human being and stayed my distance. but Lily's face kind of described how we all felt. I think that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ashton and Janessa. We are done as of now. How do you want to do this, John? We just close. Do you want to come up? Okay, well, I'll turn it over to you then.
Thank you for sharing with us tonight. Your trip is the kind of thing that, well, once you have children that are in the youth group, you hear a lot more about youth activities, and so this was an anticipated thing. But until you actually see the pictures, you don't really know what all happened. You can kind of picture in your mind, but I was picturing the clinic out somewhere in kind of a deserty place. I don't know why I was thinking that, but it looked kind of nice there. Like it was shady. There's shade trees and that kind of thing. It was interesting to hear a lot of your comments about just enjoying spending time together as a youth group, and I had to think about the fact that often when we focus on other people, helping other people, we forget about our own issues and our differences, and we kind of enjoy being with each other. I mean, that's just true wherever you're at in life, and so I think I heard that coming through. One of the guys said, we don't always get along, but we did that week, and I know my youth said they really enjoyed the time there. It's amazing how people live outside of the U.S., and then when you spend time there and you appreciate what you have. And I think Brian said it, that we are the minority. Most people do not live the way we do. And I don't know, I've struggled sometimes with knowing, should we feel guilty or not? I don't know. I don't necessarily feel guilty, but you know what I mean? Most people don't have what we have, and yet we are blessed. And we should feel compelled, perhaps, to go and help more. So, anyone else have comments, questions maybe for the youth group? Yes, Eric.
I was just curious on the lumber that they used. Was it rock cut and wood, or was it actually tree kiln dried and something like we do around here?
Little both. Since the hurricane went in down there a number of years ago, now you can get some green treated lumber. Some of their native lumber could use some TLC.
And the metal, the tin for the roof is all galvanized zinc, or what is it? Painted. It's painted, really. I didn't hear a lot of comments, a few on the food. Just kind of interested in knowing what exactly it was that most of you ate, or that was the common thing. Goat meat, but how was it prepared? Or maybe it wasn't prepared.
I'd just like to say, ladies, be thankful for your kitchens. We had hired, or she had hired Haitian cooks for us. So it was a group of 30 people, which, is a lot even for us here. They cooked everything over charcoal, had their big pots. And I was going to say something about that, and I kind of forgot. But yeah, so not a lot of meat. I felt kind of sorry for these guys because they were working hard, and they didn't get as much to eat as they do here. But they didn't complain, so I was proud of them for that. A lot of rice and beans, and there's a few here that think they don't like beans at all. So We won't mention any names, but yeah. But yeah, they did very well with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they cooked everything over charcoal fire because that's what they're used to doing. They had a little shack back behind the clinic there.
Yeah.
And that's how they did it. So, and another thing I was going to say about these guys and their roof project, the three, I was kind of the mom of the group, kind of. So sometimes I just had to tell them, just be quiet and get to work.
Yeah.
Most times about the food, like 90% of the time, we didn't even ask what it is. We just ate it because we're so hungry that we don't want to ask because it could be something disgusting. So we're like, let's just eat it, just be happy with it.
Close your eyes and eat it. Was it tasty? Yeah, no salt.
The coffee was it was so strong that you literally had like chew it when you that was the hardest thing for me to do.
Brian.
The goat was actually prepared in sauce, and some of the girls didn't get it because they were too scared to go down into the pot to get it, so all the guys got all the goat.
Very good. Anyone else? Somebody else going to say something? Anyone else have questions? Brother Ira.
I'm just curious, how many people here were ever in Haiti? I know I was there, I think, 2 or 3 times. And the one time that sticks out most in my mind is a 4-hour donkey ride back to the mountains to a mission outpost called Macedon. Me and Freeman Burkholder did that together. I mean, there were Haitians with us. Guiding the donkeys lest they slip and fall out across the cliffs. But that was really experiencing the Haiti life. You get back into the footing like that. I mean, it's an altogether different world than it's down in big cities. I just encourage anytime you get a chance, young people, go down there and do a time of service in some third world country, somewhere. It don't have to be Haiti, but somewhere in the third world country. I encourage any young person to go and put in a couple months service in a place like that.
As long as I can remember, there's been people going to Haiti. And I remember hearing stories as a little boy. At least you didn't all have to ride donkeys down there. That would have been a herd of donkeys. But yeah, it seems like there's been a long history of Haitian help being sent to Haiti, and rightly so. And I was curious, was there a town close to where you were at, or were you pretty much away from that? Okay. Mm-hmm.
They're not big, but they're there by the millions.
Mm-hmm.
And so every little place that doesn't look like a gas station to us has a little bit of gasoline for these people. But aside from that, one thing I thought about early morning when we got up at daylight was I've never been at a place where I saw what I picture Old Testament happening right in front of me. I mean, I got up early at 6 o'clock and I go out to the gate. And here is a herd of donkeys with a guy leading them and boards, lumber strapped to each side. There he is taking his caravan. I don't know where he was going, but he rose a great while before day.
Wow. He was transporting the lumber somewhere. He was going, maybe he was a contractor, and that's how he, wow. Amazing. Very good. Well, thank you again for sharing, and I'm blessed to hear that it went well, you enjoyed it, and I think I heard that they were blessed to have you there. Got more work done than anticipated. That often happens, and it was a good thing. So May God bless you for sharing, giving your time. And if there's no more comments, no more questions, we'll stand for dismissal. Let's stand.